Good morning. Picture this. It's the second weekend of December, and I'm in the same place I have been for the past 8 years. I'm in full costume, makeup, and hair, which is always in a bun, and butterflies fluttering in my stomach. I'm with some of my closest friends, and we are about to partake in my passion, a sport I truly love, ballet. We are in the wings of the Quick Center at Fairfield University, awaiting the first note of the first song to play triumphantly. We are about to take the stage for our annual production of The Nutcracker, which entails 6 performances over 3 days, plus a full day of dress rehearsal. That's where I am every second weekend of December, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Many of you know me. You may also know some of my hobbies: reading, art, crafting, creating science projects at home. But do you know my passion? I've been dancing since I was 2 years old. Not any form of dance, but ballet. Yes, for the past 11 years, I've called the dance studio my home away from home. I started with Mommy and Me classes wearing a pink leotard. Picture 6 to 8 toddlers in a dance class, some hiding behind their mommies, some twirling uncontrollably and giggling as they fall to the floor. Building up to my first dance class, I was really excited. When I first got there, I hid behind my mom and decided not to go in. After some coaxing, I reluctantly entered the studio. I was happy to see a familiar face as my best friend and neighbor was there. I also made a few new friends. Saturday after Saturday, class after class, I grew to love tutus, twirling, and ballet. From the age of 2, I was hooked. So, how did this amazing adventure all start? Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be up on stage. I wanted to be dancing on point with other ballerinas. On point means dancing on the tip of your toes. In early classes, I would skip around in a circle. As you can imagine, this was not my favorite activity. But you have to start somewhere. When I was 5, I went up to my parents and said, "I want to study ballet. Seriously." I didn't want to study hip-hop, I didn't want to study jazz, and I didn't want to study tap. I only wanted to study ballet. When I was in kindergarten, I transferred dance schools and embarked on an adventure that would change my life and influence many of my decisions. In ballet, your dance level is shown by the different colored leotards you wear. I wore a buttercup yellow leotard when I started. This was a huge accomplishment for me because I knew that I would be seriously studying ballet for years to come. Now that I was at my new dance school, of course I wanted to wear a pink leotard with skirts like the older girls. And someday, in performances, I wanted to wear big, billowing tutus. When I was in 1st grade, the leotard color was green. I looked like a small green frog. Getting to wear a different color leotard every year was something I looked forward to because it brought me closer to wearing the coveted pink tutu. It was also the next level that brought new steps I would work to master throughout the year. When I wore a purple leotard, I was in 4th grade. This was it. This is going to be my year. Not because of a different colored leotard, but because I was getting my first pair of point shoes. Now that was a sight. 14 girls on point, more excited than the night before Christmas. Everyone was falling over. My teacher, the always lovely Miss Moira, instituted a hard-to-follow and forever tempting rule that we could not walk on point unless we were instructed to. Being on point this year was a thrill as great as if Misty Copeland, a famous ballerina who I saw perform at Lincoln Center, gracefully waltzed into the room. As I continued to move through the leotard colors, I continued to be thrilled by learning new dance steps that challenged me. As you progress further into the levels, the steps become more difficult, and the more steps you learn, the more they connect to other steps. Something as small as a plie can progress to the landing of a triple pirouette. What may seem like short exercises will actually turn out to be quite long in the near future. Like the frustration of not being able to master an equation in math or struggling to complete something on time, dance can also be frustrating, especially because everything is in French. Learning these steps taught me many lifelong lessons that are not just helpful in the studio, but have spilled over into other areas as I dance my way through life. For example, ballet requires physical and mental strength. You need both. You need physical strength to get through tasks, especially when repeating steps over and over again in the hope of mastering them. Every 2 weeks, we switch choreography and do the same type of exercise with different variations. One key tool ballerinas use is muscle memory. Muscle memory is important when remembering, repeating, and reversing steps. Muscle memory is doing an exercise over and over several times until you can remember it without thinking. Sometimes my teacher screams, "Reverse it!" and without a count passing, we turn around and do it again. Reversing an exercise reminds me of that famous quote about Ginger Rogers. After all, Ginger Rogers did everything Fred Astaire did. She just did it backwards and in high heels. When I first got on point, it was not easy for me. It took several years and many classes practicing to gain the strength I needed to get fully on my box, the tip of my point shoes. The same strength is also needed when someone is recovering from an injury. It stinks when you get hurt. Trust me, I've had to sit out when we were learning our dance, the highlight of the year, because of an injury to my Achilles tendon. I could not get up and mark it because my teacher thought it'd exacerbate my injury. After I recovered from tearing the strings from my Achilles tendon, I had to gain back everything I had lost from sitting out for a month. I had to regain my physical strength and come back slowly but strongly. It took a while and it was a process, but I worked hard to overcome it. I learned mental strength when I did not get the parts I wanted. While disappointed, I was determined to do my best with the part I was given. I practiced the choreography over and over again in order to make the dancers in our group shine. I had to work and really study ballet to get the bigger, better, and more diverse roles. However, being patient had its ups and downs. I stuck with ballet even when the teacher said, "Up, on point," then left the room, meaning we had to hold our position for what felt like forever. Also, not understanding steps can be difficult when you first learn them, or when you forget a step and have to relearn it, or when you do lame ducks across the floor instead of PK turns. I learned patience through all of these challenges. Throughout my study of ballet, I have learned many lessons regarding friendship. When I was younger, I did not like being at ballet when it was warm outside. I felt I was missing out on the fun things my friends were doing. Besides, we were not allowed to talk in between the exercises during class, which did not allow friendships to form easily. What was the point? In the beginning, I was not really close with any of the dancers in my class and continued to dream of being with my school friends. While I am very close with my school friends, both in and out of school, it turns out my ballet friends have become great friends of mine too. My ballet friends are like my family. We are always there for each other. As I get older, I truly realize the importance of strong friendships that will last a lifetime. Ballet has taken me to some amazing places and on some amazing stages. When I was in second grade, I went to Lincoln Center to watch a performance by Misty Copeland and many other renowned dancers. Watching the ballerinas dance was a life-changing experience for me. After the performance, my ballet friends and I went on stage at Lincoln Center and then to a workshop featuring the best choreographers and ballerinas that were in the show. Unfortunately, Misty Copeland was not backstage, but many of her colleagues were. Suddenly, we were dancing amongst the best ballerinas in the world. This workshop was the start of my love for intensives. Ballerinas call ballet summer camp ballet intensives. Intensives are summer camps with auditions. That summer, I auditioned for and attended the Joffrey Ballet School in New York City. For one whole week, I was a commuter, getting up at 6:30 each morning to catch a train. Once at the ballet studio, I had all new instructors from New York City with New York City attitudes and different styles of teaching. A far cry from my home studio with Miss Moira. While the teaching styles differed, it made me a better dancer by teaching me persistence and maybe by giving me a little bit of a thicker skin. Last summer, I attended the Nutmeg Ballet Conservatory Intensive. It was a sleepaway camp for 2 whole weeks. I loved it. I spent 2 weeks with people like me, people who love ballet as much as I do. The teachers there taught with pride, and they truly wanted to teach us how to be better dancers. When the teachers taught us how to execute the steps better, making our understanding of the steps better, we can apply the knowledge to performances like the Nutcracker. This summer, I am attending the American Academy of Ballet at Sarah Lawrence College. Ballet has also given me the opportunity to give back. I've helped teach Dance for All Abilities for the past 2 years, a program designed to help budding ballerinas with autism and their siblings learn ballet. Helping these children is the highlight of my week when I see the smiles brighten on their faces. Most people think ballet is an exercise and not a sport. It's just a workout class that moms take, right? Wrong. Ballet is a sport that requires physical and mental strength. What first started out as a mommy and me class with the desire to wear a pink tutu has led me on this 11-year path, and I've learned many life lessons along the way. I've learned the lessons of persistence and commitment. I've learned what it means to work toward a higher goal. I've learned how to set short-term and long-term goals. I've learned that my body is strong and my mind is even stronger. I've learned disappointment and success. I've learned to give back to a place that has given me so much. I've made lifelong friends and learned what it means to be a true friend. I've learned it's always more than just showing up. It's bloody toes, sore muscles, and countless pairs of tights and point shoes. It's nailing that new step. It's appearing as light as air under the bright lights the second weekend of each December. Thank you.